How are you feeling about the challenge so far?
Feeling
Uh,
good.
yeah.
Cool.
I
I'm
got online.
determined.
I went to Facebook last night to post, and then I read a bunch of other people, and I completely forgot to put a post.
Oh no! That's funny. I thought I saw that you commented on someone else's. That's hilarious. Well, feel free to still introduce yourself, even if it's not for points. We had a couple of people come in late, so no big deal. All right, cool. Anything anyone struggling with yet?
I
A
wouldn't say it's
workout.
I wouldn't say struggle. I just think I wasn't visibly aware of the added sugar until
Uh-huh.
I looked back and I didn't realize it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, at least it's not none this time.
Yes. Easier this go around.
Yeah. And I was telling, so both Caitlin and Kristen are actually in building university. So I was telling them that I wanted to make each of them a different theme. And the theme for this one is sustainability. So I was like, I'm going to lighten up the requirements a little bit because we all know we have good intentions, but it's not always like perfect. So that's what this time around is a little bit easier, I would hope, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
definitely.
Yeah, I did think it seemed a little lighter than last time, maybe.
Mhm. Yes, that is intentional. So each of them will do the PCS principle, and we'll actually talk about it today too. Is going to be the first like January will be practical because we're just getting back into the new year, and then it'll be about consistency going into summer, sustainability going into the fall, and then the holidays will be awareness. So that one's kind of separate, but I think that's a good one for us to be aware of what we're doing, but not completely restrict ourselves because holidays, celebrations, stuff.
I
All
Sure.
like to
right.
think that it's simpler, not easier.
Yes, there we go. We'll
Yeah.
take it. All right, so you have all seen this before. I'm going to show it to you one more time just so you kind of get an idea of how the workshops are going to flow. So each of the workshops is going to be built on our 6 pillars of health. We know that mindset is one of the major pillars that we work on in building university. So that's what we're talking about today is just creating a good mindset for us to make sure that our habits are sustainable. And then I technically flip-flop these two. We'll talk about fitness tomorrow, nutrition the next day, and then sleep, stress, and then we're gonna actually play some games on Saturday for
Ooh.
the award ceremony. So that'll be our social connection. So we're gonna do some group activities. I'm trying to find ways to make it more enticing for people to come to the award ceremony. So raffle prizes if you're there, and we're gonna play some games. So just throwing it out there. All right, so today is mindset. We are talking about motivation. So I'm sure we've all run into this before. Who has ever like skipped a workout or not cleaned their house or whatever because they weren't motivated? They just didn't feel like it, right? Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if I can say yes to that because I don't know if I ever clean my house.
Oh.
So,
All right. Well, I'll just give you an example. It doesn't have to be everyone. So let's talk a little bit about what that situation feels like. What does it feel like to, let's go be not motivated first? Feel free to just popcorn stuff out.
Relaxing.
Oh,
I'm gonna throw devil's advocate in there and say it feels um anxious.
mm,
yeah, I'd agree with anxious.
yeah. A word that I thought of just now was disappointing. I feel like I'm
Yes.
disappointing myself almost. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I should be doing the thing, but I don't want to do the thing.
Hey, you're the one who taught me that what you do is what you do, and it's better than nothing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, precursor for what we're going to talk about today. I love that. Perfect. So now we know what it feels like to be demotivated. Let's talk about what it feels like to be motivated. When was the last time? Actually, pause game. Let's go back to demotivation again. What's a thing that you were demotivated about that you didn't want to do and you felt like motivation was the reason or that you had a lack of motivation? What were you trying to maybe avoid?
Write my book.
Okay, absolutely.
Laundry.
Okay, definitely.
Dishwashing, maybe.
Oh yeah. So we're hearing least favorite chores. Creative outlet is an interesting one because that is sometimes you're motivated and like excited, and sometimes you don't have any ideas, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm kaput right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, workouts are like that for me a lot. So let's talk again, the reason behind it. We talked about what it felt like. Why do we think that we get to that point where we feel like we're lacking that motivation?
Burnout.
Awesome.
Exactly, burnout.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, I'd say mental fatigue. Uh, there's almost never a day where I don't want to like physically work out, but because I'm sitting a lot all the time, but it's usually mental for me. Like,
I would completely agree with that for me too. Does anybody else experience that? Right? Like a lot of times you're like, okay, I physically have the energy, but maybe I have a lot to do today. I have a lot on my plate. I'm frustrated, anxious, whatever the case is, right? Yeah, really good. Okay. So now let's talk the opposite. When was the last time you were like super motivated about something? Felt so good, you were ready to rock. Like, what did that look like? What was that situation?
Honestly, for me, it is cleaning the house
Ooh, okay. Tell me why.
after my niece has left.
Okay.
So wonderful to have a clean house again.
Absolutely. And so was the motivation just the feeling after you're done cleaning?
Yeah, so my motivation is the result, not the action.
Ooh, okay. So what makes it worth the action?
The honestly, it's that calm feeling you get when you can be in your environment and there's not chaos. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Anyone else? The last time you felt motivated, what did it feel like, and what do you think motivated you?
Um, I would have to say the last time I saw my friend Adami,
Okay.
and she is the sunlight in the room. Like she is just bubbly and full of joy, and even the smallest thing makes her really happy, and she shares that with everybody. So just getting to feed off of that positive energy gives me the motivation to get things done.
Awesome. Love that.
I don't know if this quite answers the question, but I was thing that came to mind was basketball. I often play on Friday mornings, and because it's so early, it kind of motivates me for the day, I guess, to get up.
I love that. Yeah. Mine was going to be sports related too. I mean, I definitely think I'm more motivated when I've got like a competition coming up, or, you know what I mean? Like some kind of end goal, something to get excited about. And that's kind of what I'm hearing. Caitlin, yours is a little different. So I love that. I love that we have some variety in there. Kind of what I'm hearing is like that feeling at the end of it, or the result of feeling calm at the end of it, right? So the idea that I want to introduce, and we haven't actually introduced this into Building University yet, but it is something that I'm going to start incorporating. And I think we've talked about it a little bit before, is the idea of a kedge. Has anyone heard of that term before? No? Okay. So the idea behind it, I got it from a book called Younger Next Year. And it's about how to continue living and thriving through your 50s, 60s, and beyond. And one of the things that he talks about is this idea of a kedge. So it is when you are on a boat and you throw an anchor out so that it catches on something on the ground, and then you pull yourself in to the anchor. And so the idea behind it is that by setting these goals or having these hobbies or finding something that allows us to draw ourselves in, we can get excited about it, right? Like, have you ever known anybody that just does like 5K after 5K after 5K? And it's because they're looking for that hedge, they're looking for that like piece that will take them to the next level and make them want to continue going, because sometimes it's difficult to have it be perpetual if we don't have like an exciting reason at the end of it, right? And so you each kind of describe that in your own way, what that motivation looks like and how we can get excited. So the next piece that we're going to dive into is the definition of motivation and how we might be able to find a catch that will get you excited. So what does motivation mean to you?
The desire to get something done.
Okay.
For me, it's desire for the result.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think that means excitement.
Yeah, that's a good word too. And Kristen, I have an interesting question for you. If it's a desire for the result, but it's a result that either doesn't come easily or there isn't actually a result, does that become problematic?
No, I think part of it is the way I view things is that I find my end goal of where I want to be and I figure out the vehicle to get there. So I decide the goal before I decide how I'm going to do it. And so my motivation is in the ending versus the process, if that makes sense.
Okay. You already know
May
you're
not
gonna hit
always get there. There may be another road you have to take, but if I focus on the result, for me personally, then those segues you have to take don't matter as much.
because then it's worth it, right? Like we were saying
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you ever run into the issue where there's like a gap in expectations? Like you think that you should be able to XYZ and then life happens?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What do you do in that situation?
I evaluate and I try to kind of sit back, take emotion out of it because I'm very systematic. I know I said I don't look at process, but I'm very systematic. And so I try to take the emotion out of it to go, okay, being like, I work in management. What would I tell someone? And am I going to follow that same advice? Or do I think I'm, able to be the person that doesn't have to do that? Realistically, no. So,
Absolutely. Cool. Anyone else? What does motivation look like to you? Okay. I think we've got a good definition for it. So it sounds like for the most part, it's something that gets us going, right? Something that gets us excited, something that makes us want to go wherever we're going to go or whatever that goal is. So what is the hard part about depending on something that is emotionally based?
feelings
It's
are
not,
subjective.
yeah, it's not
Subjective, okay.
readily available.
Ooh, that is a really good way of describing it. Okay.
Delayed gratification.
Ah,
I guess what came to my mind is like if you have like a lifting goal or something, lift X weight, you might be able to get there if it's a reasonable goal and you can measure that. But say you want to make a physical change, that can be a little more complex because like you might do what you're supposed to and then you don't look exactly how you pictured it, or maybe you look better. But it might take longer than you thought either way.
and let's say that that's your motivation, and maybe you're not getting there, like you said, as fast as you wanted to. What happens to
Yeah, I
that
guess
motivation?
that's how it's meant to circle back is like
Yeah.
the motivation can be hard then because you might not reach that goal ever.
Or it might not be what you expected, right? I think
Yeah,
that's what happens a lot of times,
yeah.
right? Okay, awesome. Yeah. So that's the biggest piece that I want to make sure that we're recognizing as well. Yes, using motivation to our advantage. And that's what we're really going to talk about toward the end here, but also making sure that we are understanding that sometimes it is a little bit fleeting, right? Sometimes it is a little bit more emotionally based. And so if we need to be more pragmatic about how we approach it, sometimes that can be more beneficial. So what would that look like if you were going to be a little bit more pragmatic or have a little bit more of a plan leading up to that goal for you?
For me, I would have to truly understand the why behind my goal.
Mm,
If I don't know the why, I don't necessarily have to push to achieve it.
love that.
I would need to know that the payout is going to be worth it
Mm,
because you can put all the motivation, especially for me as a writer, into something, and then it never gets read.
right.
and it's heartbreaking.
Can I throw something out there real quick
Absolutely.
after Caitlin said that? Someone said to me once, I can be going 80 miles on the freeway, think I'm making good time, but if I don't know my destination, am I really making good time? Because let's say I'm in Oregon and I'm trying to go to the coast. What if I'm headed towards Idaho? It's kind of the opposite direction. I'm really not making that good of time.
I love that. And how can you relate that to what Caitlin was just saying?
Well, sometimes sometimes we don't really know what the payout's going to be. We don't know what that return on our investment is going to be. We can speculate, we can anticipate, we can look at all the drivers, but we don't necessarily know for sure what that is going to truly look like until we get there.
Mm-hmm.
And so having that process in place to ensure we're headed towards our goal, we have to focus on what's in our control.
Yes, ma'am. And then reevaluate if we get
Mm-hmm.
there and it's not what we expected, right?
Yeah.
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 Totally.
Because maybe you didn't have a map. Maybe you didn't realize you were going the wrong direction. You know?
Maybe Idaho ends up being better. Love that. Okay, awesome. So the next piece that we're going to go into is the workshop portion. So we are each going to pick one thing that we feel like we're either struggling with or maybe have a hard time getting ourselves motivated about. And we are going to try and figure out a kedge to get us closer to that direction so that we can call on that why, like you were saying, call on that why and make sure that our driving force, and then probably come up with some plans to make it actually happen. So Caitlin, we're just going to go in order. What's something that you feel like you're lacking of motivation? Do you want to use the book writing?
Yes.
Okay. Kristen?
Lacking motivation, I would say I'm probably going to say lifting in the heat.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Nate, what do you want to use?
I would say getting my food prepped
Mm-hmm.
for the week or
Cool.
even the day sometimes.
Perfect. And we all probably struggle with similar things. So I love that you all three picked something different because then we can workshop them all together. So Caitlin, first is what could be the catch for you? What's like that next step in writing your book that can be your motivator right now? And phone a friend if you need to.
I mean, most of my inspiration comes from spending time with other people, but it's got to be the right kind of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
in
so
this
how do we
case, I'm
make
gonna phone a friend.
okay? So maybe for Caitlin, how do we make that happen? How do we get her around more of the right people?
My question for Caitlin would be, who are you spending your free time with outside of family and work? And are you getting that feedback you need or that reinforcement you need that's going to inspire you?
Well, I make obligations and I attend those, but those are not really the right people. So, I mean, I try and spend time with the people who would inspire me, but it's very hard to, work that into the schedule for them
Mm-hmm.
more than it is for me. So,
Okay. So let's even talk plan B. What happens if you can't get with those people, right? Because that might happen. You might go through a season where it's hard to get a hold of people, let's say holidays or something. What else do you have?
mm, this is gonna be really nerdy, but I watch anime. And that helps inspire me, just the different fantasy aspects of the world so that I
Yeah.
can just kind of pick and choose which ones I like.
Okay. You feel like you've got your catch a little bit?
Yeah, I got a couple animes I can watch, so.
Okay. All right. All right, Kristen, let's go into yours next. Lifting.
Yeah, so for me, lifting in the heat is not appealing nor motivating,
Mhm.
just because of physical factors. So, right now, where my situation is, Kyle and I are in the middle of doing all these projects with the house. And so we took apart a pergola, stained it, which means everything that was on that side of the garage moved to the other side of the garage. So that also includes what I perceive as chaos in the gym.
Mm.
And so it's hard for me to get motivated to go out there because my end result is undescriptive. It's undefined, right? I
Mm.
know in my head, I know what the end result is if I'm consistent over time,
Mhm.
but it's with without a specific workout routine, the process that's involved in it. You know what I mean? So, um, cleaning up the chaos and also doing the workout in the heat is less than appealing.
Yep.
So that's my
Phone,
struggle.
phone a friend, Caitlin.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, so from what it sounds like, it's a mess in the gym.
A little bit, a
Oh,
little bit. Yeah.
why not count that as the first part of your workout?
That's a great question. And I'm going to tell you it's because I'm very hard on myself and I do not count that as part of my workout. I count the actual workout as my workout because I I think part of it comes from just my experience, what my husband does for a living and everything. Yes, I would view it as forward progress. I would not personally view it as my part of my workout. It would be a segregated thing that would lead to my workout, if that makes sense. Yep, it's dichotomous thinking. I recognize. But yes,
Also,
Michelle,
if
please.
you're if you're avoiding cleaning and so you don't work out.
Well, so this potentially is not avoiding cleaning. I
Okay.
actually did my workout today. I
Okay.
did move things to facilitate it.
Cool.
But some of it is stuff that is like tools and things I physically can't move.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of it. So like where things I can move around to kind of adjust, I will. But I'm not getting when I say I'm not getting my workouts in, even if I do part of it and I don't do the full thing, I say I don't do it all. So that's the dichotomous thinking that I'm working through as well. I'm kind of an all or nothing kind of gal.
So why don't you change what your lifting workout is so you can do it in another room?
That's a great question as well. Part of it is, again, because I feel I need to lift more than the last time. And there's certain things I can't lift that heavy in my house.
Well, as someone who used to take weightlifting in school and
Yeah.
was like top of the class for weightlifting, I'm telling you right now, li changing what you're lifting or the way you're lifting to work around the space you have available to you
Hmm.
is more of a challenge than just consistently doing the exact same type of exercise or
Hmm.
workout every single time.
Yes. So, what habit I have gotten into is doing a similar workout every single time, and then I'm not counting them because I'm not doing things I think I should be doing more of.
I hope
So
you
a
get to
That's
lot of
come to tomorrow's
dichotomous
workshop.
thinking.
yes, I saw that on the calendar.
I love that. All right, we'll move into Nathan's next. Nathan, let's talk through yours. Meal prep. What is your kedge? Oh, sorry, Kristen. Do you feel like you
Yeah.
have a kedge at this point, like a goal that you want to go for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nathan.
I was just going to say your house looks very nice, Kristen, from
Oh, thank you.
the
Appreciate
camera
it.
angle here. What was my goal? Was that the
Yeah,
question?
so the kedge piece, like what would be the next piece that would get you like excited about wanting to actually prep your meals?
Oh, I would say just feeling better. Like, like I don't know. I feel way better if I eat, I don't know, just chicken and potatoes and maybe with some veggie rather than I don't know, something like nothing wrong with Taco Bell, but then eating fast food or like pizza or something. So I just feel better if I eat certain things, and also just uh, feel like I gained a little unhealthy weight this summer, I'd say. So just like feeling better that way too. Like at least getting back to kind of where I was. I just like feel better moving around and stuff, I think.
Can I challenge you?
Sure.
Feeling better is a very abstract idea. Can we make it more tangible?
Hmm. Well, tangible would be deciding what exactly what I'm going to eat, I think.
Okay.
Like have a plan. I'm going to go pick up these, groceries, and that's what I'm going to have. And I'm actually going to go make it. Uh,
Okay.
so,
And what's that driving force besides just feeling better? Is like, or can we be more specific about feeling better? Do you mean like digestion or energy, or like what does feeling better mean to you?
yeah, I'd definitely say digestion or just like not. Sometimes my stomach just kind of hurts if
Mhm.
I don't eat the right things, maybe, or have too much caffeine.
Okay. Phone a friend. Anyone got anything else for Nathan?
I guess my question is something that I used to struggle with when it came to meal prep was the time or desire, right? So for me, one thing I actually learned from Michelle was that I didn't have to eat the same thing every single day. So I would meal prep smaller things, eat for on the week for each day, and I would have a set day that I would do it. And I tried to do it in ways that didn't take up as much time either. So I can you hear me? Sorry, I'm getting an error
Yeah.
message. Okay. So one random thing, I used to make like a pasta dish with meatballs. And so I would put it all together and it would take me forever. And then Michelle's like, "Oh, check out this one." And I was like, "That's amazing." And that's what I do now. So, I don't know if maybe finding some faster ways to meal prep, maybe it's not the perfect be all end all, but it's better than the alternative.
No, yeah. So I don't mind eating the same thing every day, but I think you hit it on the head for me is with the time. I just lose interest in the kitchen, and so time is, or just in doing something else. So the time is the biggest fit. I like
And
that
sometimes
idea.
that's when we do things like crock pots, where you just throw the shit in
I
the pot.
I I was gonna say I like literally the meal in our crock pot right now is gonna last us like the rest of the week. Like it was like ingredients times three, you know? And I was like, all right, woo.
And
It's
Kristen, if
high
I
in
remember it,
protein.
the one we were talking about, it was frozen meatballs too, right? Like better than probably whatever fast food you're eating, right? Do what you
Right?
gotta do.
Yeah, I would just do the crock pots because they're the easiest ones to make high protein meals, especially with chicken, and make them in bulk and just you have them there. So it's just a matter of putting them in the individual containers for each day kind of idea.
I do actually have a crock pot. You reminded me that I kind of
There
forgot I
you
had.
go.
Nice. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. What we're going to do is one takeaway per person. It can be about your new kedge, hopefully, or it can be just something that you felt like we went through in the workshop that incited an idea in you. So, Caitlin, your takeaway.
My takeaway is that I need a lift more. Thank you, Kristen, for reminding me. I kind of spun out of control and gave that up when it came to doing the exercises, but I can lift with my arms. I don't have to technically clutch my gut, which is the reason I stopped. So,
Kristen.
I think mine was just a good reminder that there's gray out there. There's gray area.
Awesome. And Nate.
I think maybe you said it, Michelle, is tangible. It's something like I get too carried away sometimes with ideas. So gotta have something tangible to do.
Because it's romantic, right? Oh, that would be great to feel better, but like, what does that even mean, right? Yeah, for sure.
Michelle, can I ask real quick? Sorry, do you have anywhere you
Yeah.
have to be? I just
No,
have a
go ahead,
question.
please.
So, I saw you posted in the Cheer Network what's a question someone had. And so I wanted to see what your thought was. So,
Yeah.
what do you think is the biggest myth that people don't understand about motivation?
I think they think it's achievable.
Can you expand on that?
Yes. I think they think that it's a thing that they can get and have and hold. They think that
Oh,
it's tangible and that
hmm
it's like balance, right? I talk about balance all the time, but I don't think there's an answer for balance. It's the search for balance that allows you to be able to like curtsy around it, right? So I think the
hmm
same thing about motivation. A lot of people think that it's something that you have or don't have, that you can get or that you don't got, right? But really it's like searching for, like we said, that hedge or the purpose or the why and the process of that that ends up being the motivation for us. I don't think it's an actual answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Great question. All right. Anyone else? Okay, beautiful. So tomorrow is fitness. I named it the secret to never missing a workout. Speaking
Love
of,
it.
I need to go do mine. So I will talk to y'all soon. And let me know if you need anything else. I'll see you in the community.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
All
night.
right, thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.